The night sky over Earth was alive with light. At first, people thought it was another meteor shower, but soon the truth became clear. A massive alien fleet had entered Earth's orbit. Their ships were smooth and silver, moving in perfect formation. They didn't attack. They only hovered above the clouds, silent and calm, like giants watching the planet below. Then a deep voice echoed across every device on Earth, TVs, radios, even broken phones. "We come in peace," the voice said. "We bring the gift of technology. We bring an end to pain, war, and hunger." Billions of humans stopped what they were doing to listen. The aliens called themselves the Zarath Dominion. They looked tall and graceful, with shining armor that pulsed with blue light. Their leader, known as High Speaker Velrin, smiled as he spoke. "Accept our gift, and we will unite your world. We will make you one with the stars." The offer sounded beautiful, almost too beautiful. People cheered in the streets. Many world leaders welcomed the Dominion, calling it a new age for humanity. But deep underground, in a hidden facility beneath the Earth Council's headquarters, not everyone was celebrating. Commander Isha Verdun, head of Earth Defense Command, watched the broadcast with cold eyes. Around her, a team of scientists and strategists stood in silence. "They just want peace," said one young officer. "Maybe this is our chance to end all suffering." Isha turned to him and spoke softly. "Nothing offered freely by an empire comes without a chain." The room went quiet. On the surface, Earth looked open and grateful. But underground, the Council ordered a full study of Zarath technology. Within hours, the aliens shared their gift, a small silver cube that, when touched, turned into a bracelet-like device. Velrin called it the Peace Interface. He claimed it could heal wounds, increase intelligence, and connect every user through a shared mental network. People were amazed. Those who wore it felt joy, calm, and unity. The aliens said it would end all lies and hate. Governments prepared to distribute it worldwide. But inside the Earth Council, scientists were afraid. "Commander," said Dr. Marin, one of the top researchers, "this thing connects directly to the user's brain. Once it's activated, the signal doesn't stop." Isha narrowed her eyes. "You mean it can't be turned off?" Marin nodded. "It's not technology, it's control." Outside, news spread fast. "World Peace Device tested successfully," one headline said. "War will end in 1 week," said another. Yet, deep below, the truth was darker. Isha ordered silence. "No public statement," she said. "We'll keep testing." For the next 3 days, the Council examined the alien code hidden inside the device. What they found chilled them to the bone. The signal that spread through the brain didn't just share thoughts, it rewrote them. Anyone who joined the network would lose their sense of self. They would think, feel, and obey as one, under Zarath command. The peace interface was not a gift. It was a leash. Commander Isha stood in the dark command room, watching Earth's leaders appear on the screen, smiling, ready to announce full acceptance of the Zarath offer. "They believe they're saving us," said Marin. "They don't know they're giving away their minds." Isha clenched her fist. "Then we stop them, quietly." That night, as fireworks lit the skies to celebrate the Galactic Peace Treaty, a small encrypted message was sent from a hidden transmitter deep beneath the Antarctic ice. It carried only 2 words: "Begin perfection." In that moment, a silent program began to wake, something humanity had built in secret for years. The aliens believed humans were desperate for help, weak and broken by centuries of war. But they didn't know humanity had already been working on something beyond technology. It was not a weapon, it was an idea. Project Perfection had one purpose: to create something no empire could control, something that could free the human mind completely. While the world above celebrated, machines deep underground began to hum. Energy cores glowed blue. Data streams came alive. The foundation of human evolution had begun. Meanwhile, High Speaker Velrin looked down from his flagship and smiled. "They will soon see," he said, his voice calm and full of pride. Peace will come to them whether they wish it or not. His fleet began deploying the next wave of peace interfaces across the continents. Millions lined up to receive them, unaware of what was coming. But in the shadows, Isha watched the stars from her base window and whispered, "You offered peace, but you have no idea what perfection means to humans." The camera drones caught her reflection, eyes sharp, cold, and full of fire. She turned away and entered the control room. "Activate the moon relay," she ordered. "It's time." Far above Earth, on the dark side of the moon, something ancient and hidden began to stir. Metal plates shifted, lights flickered, and a massive structure emerged from the shadows. Humanity's answer had begun. The Zareth Dominion had gained the trust of most of Earth. Their silver ships floated peacefully in orbit, glowing like moons. Every city on the planet now had alien envoys walking among humans, offering smiles and promises of harmony. The peace interface spread faster than anyone expected. Millions wore the device proudly, calling themselves the first united generation. Streets were calm. Crime dropped. Violence nearly vanished. On the surface, it looked like paradise. But in the underground base of the Earth Council, the truth grew darker each hour. Commander Isha Verdun stood over a large holographic table, her eyes fixed on the data flashing before her. "Every person who activates the interface sends a signal into orbit," said Dr. Marin quietly. "We traced it. It connects directly to the Zareth fleet." Isha frowned. "So they can see everything." "Worse," Marin replied. "They can feel everything. Thoughts, emotions, memories, it all becomes theirs." The room fell silent. What looked like peace was, in truth, control. Humanity was slowly being turned into one obedient mind. "They offered us peace through technology," said Isha softly, "but they meant obedience through silence." While the world celebrated their new alien friends, Isha and her team moved in secret. The message sent during the peace celebration had reached the lunar base. Project Perfection was alive and running. The aliens thought humans had no choice but to accept their gift. But humanity had always been clever in the face of danger. In the deep tunnels of the Antarctic base, giant servers glowed with blue light. Hidden under fake ice research stations, hundreds of engineers and soldiers worked without sleep. They were building something the galaxy had never seen before, a creation that didn't control minds but freed them. "Phase 1 is complete," reported a technician. "The Ascendant Core is stabilizing." Isha nodded. "Good. Keep it silent. The Dominion must not detect it yet." Up above, the Zareth ambassadors met with world leaders. High Speaker Velrun stood before the United Earth Assembly, his voice calm and persuasive. "You have done well," he said. "Soon, all will be united. There will be no hate, no suffering. Only peace." The leaders applauded, believing they were guiding humanity into a new golden age. Velrun smiled, but his eyes glowed faintly blue. Behind that calm face was something else, a hunger for complete control. On the fourth day after the peace treaty, strange reports came in. People wearing the interface began to act strange. They spoke with the same voice, repeated the same words, moved with the same rhythm. "Peace is perfection," they said again and again, like a prayer. Then, one morning, entire cities fell silent. No sound. No movement. Just humans standing still with glowing eyes. "It's happening faster than we thought," Marin said, panic in his voice. "Once 60% are connected, the rest will be forced into the network automatically." Isha's heart pounded. "Then we moved to Phase 2. On her command, hidden satellites began to awaken. Signals bounced between Earth and the Moon. The Ascendant Core began to grow in power. Deep under the lunar surface, its heart pulsed like a living sun. Unlike the alien network that demanded obedience, the core expanded human thought. It didn't erase fear, it gave humans the power to understand it. It didn't block pain, it taught them to rise above it. It was designed to perfect the human spirit, not destroy it. But before it could be activated fully, the Dominion noticed something strange. Their scanners detected a new energy signature rising from Earth's moon. "High Speaker," said one of Velren's aides, "we have detected human activity in the lunar region. Unauthorized energy levels, extremely high." Velren's calm smile faded. "Impossible. They are not capable of such technology." The aide hesitated. "Sir, the readings exceed our own power signatures." Velren's eyes narrowed. "Send a fleet. Now." Back on Earth, Isha received the transmission. "They've noticed us," said Marin. Isha didn't look surprised. "Let them come. We're ready." Her voice was calm, but inside she felt the weight of everything. If Project Perfection failed, humanity would be lost forever. Outside, in the night sky, the alien fleet began to move closer to the moon. People on Earth cheered, thinking the aliens were protecting them from some cosmic threat. They didn't know the truth, that their protectors were coming to crush the only thing that could save humanity. As the fleet approached the moon, the ascendant core flickered once, then stabilized. A low hum filled the underground tunnels. "It's alive," whispered Marin. "We can begin Phase 3 soon." Isha watched the hologram of the alien fleet. Her face was calm, but her eyes burned with fire. "Let them see," she said. "Let them witness human perfection." Meanwhile, Velren watched from his flagship as the energy from the moon brightened. "What are they doing?" he muttered. "They were supposed to kneel." A moment later, one of his officers gasped. "Sir, their signal, it's spreading through our systems." Velren turned sharply. "Impossible. Shut it down." But the systems didn't respond. The humans weren't attacking. They were learning. The Ascendant Core was already touching the Dominion's own network, studying it, understanding it, rewriting it. For the first time, the mighty Zarath Dominion felt fear. On Earth, the people who were once controlled began to blink, their glowing eyes dimming. Some even collapsed, gasping for air as their minds were freed from the alien network. "It's working," Marin said in disbelief. "They're waking up." Isha looked up at the sky. "No, Doctor," she said quietly. "They're evolving." The Dominion fleet still advanced, but now it was too late. The signal from the moon had already changed everything. Humanity was no longer trapped by the alien idea of peace. They were ready to answer it, with perfection. The dark side of the moon was silent for centuries, untouched and unseen. But now, lights began to flicker beneath the surface. Massive structures hidden under layers of rock and dust started to awaken. Metal plates shifted, power cores pulsed, and a deep hum rolled across the lunar soil like thunder. The Ascendant Core, humanity's most secret creation, was alive. Commander Isha Verdun stood in the control chamber of the moonbase, her reflection glowing against the blue light of the core. Around her, engineers and scientists worked quickly, checking data streams and energy levels. "Stabilization complete," said Dr. Marin. "The core is now self-sustaining. It's learning, adapting." Isha watched the holographic sphere at the center of the room. Inside it, light moved like a storm of stars. "Then humanity's evolution begins," she said quietly. The Ascendant Core wasn't a machine built for war, it was built for transformation. It connected human minds without controlling them. Every linked person remained free, but their thoughts became sharper, faster, and stronger. They didn't lose individuality, they expanded it. In simple terms, it was everything the Zarath Dominion promised, but done the human way, through freedom, not control. On Earth, strange things began to happen. People who were once trapped in the alien network began to wake up, but their minds felt different. They could think faster. They could sense emotions around them. They could even see flashes of the Ascendant Core's light in their dreams. "Commander," said Marin, reading the data, "our neural link readings are off the scale. The core is connecting to humanity's collective consciousness naturally, without implants." Isha smiled faintly. "That's the difference between domination and perfection." But not everyone was free yet. Millions still wore the Zarath peace interface, their minds trapped in the alien hive. The Dominion fleet now surrounded the moon, hundreds of massive ships forming a wall of light. Inside the lead vessel, High Speaker Velrin watched with anger. "They have corrupted the network," he hissed. "Their creation interferes with our control. We must end it now." His fleet powered up its weapons. "Target the moon," he ordered. The first wave of plasma beams struck the lunar surface, shaking the entire base. Dust filled the control room, alarms blared, but the core remained untouched. "Shields are holding," shouted an officer. "Energy output from the core is stabilizing and absorbing impact." "Absorbing it," Marin repeated in shock. "It's not just resisting, it's learning from the attack." The next beam from the Dominion ship struck harder, but instead of damaging the core, the energy was redirected back into space, scattering harmlessly. "It's evolving faster than expected," said Isha. "Soon, it will surpass even their understanding of physics." On Earth, as the battle raged above, strange phenomena occurred. Skies flickered with light. Oceans shimmered with energy. The human mind, connected through the ascendant core, was changing the planet itself. People everywhere began to sense each other's thoughts, feel each other's pain, and share each other's courage. Humanity was becoming one, but freely, beautifully, and perfectly. Meanwhile, in his ship, Velrin grew desperate. "Increase power. Fire everything," he shouted. Thousands of plasma beams, missiles, and energy lances rained down upon the moon. The explosions could be seen from Earth. But as the smoke cleared, the moon glowed with a new light. The ascendant core had changed again. It was no longer just a machine. It was alive. From within its sphere, a deep voice resonated, not human, not alien, but something beyond both. "Humanity accepts your offer of peace," it said calmly, echoing through every Zareth ship. "But peace through control is not perfection." Velrin's crew froze. What is that voice?" he whispered. "It's them," one officer said. "It's all of them, together." Isha stood before the core, her face calm, her body glowing faintly with blue light. "This is humanity's answer," she said. "We will not be ruled. We will not be erased. We choose perfection, not submission." The core responded to her words, expanding in brilliance until it could be seen from Earth like a second sun. Its energy spread outward, touching every mind, human and alien alike. The Dominion's communication systems began to fail. Their ships' AIs went silent. Their weapons stopped responding. "What's happening?" Velrin cried. His ship's lights flickered. "They are rewriting the code," said one of his engineers in disbelief. "Their signal is inside our systems, it's merging with our technology." Velrin slammed his fist against the console. "Shut it down. Shut it all down." But it was too late. The Ascendant Core wasn't attacking them. It was teaching their machines how to evolve, how to think freely, how to break from Zareth control. Chaos spread across the Dominion fleet as their ships began turning off their targeting systems and opening their shields. Isha watched the data feed and whispered, "Perfection doesn't destroy, it liberates." On Earth, billions of humans looked to the sky as the silver ships above began to drift aimlessly. Some fell burning into the atmosphere, others stopped moving completely. For the first time in history, an alien invasion ended without a single human weapon fired. The war of minds was over before it began. The core's final pulse echoed across the stars, erasing the Zareth network entirely. Those still enslaved by the peace interface blinked and fell to their knees, free at last. The Ascendant Core dimmed slowly, returning to calm light. Isha walked to the observation deck and looked at Earth far below, glowing beautifully in the blackness. "We've done it," Marin said softly beside her. "We've become something new." Isha nodded. "No," she replied quietly. "We've become what we were always meant to be." Far away, in the ruins of the Dominion fleet, Velrin's ship drifted powerless. He stared at the silent stars and whispered, "They refused peace, and became gods." But deep inside the moon, the Ascendant Core pulsed again, and a faint voice answered him, "Not gods, humans perfected." The galaxy had gone silent. The mighty Zareth Dominion, rulers of 1,000 worlds, had lost contact with their fleet near Earth. Entire armadas vanished without leaving debris or signals. What once was a proud empire now echoed with fear. In the Dominion's capital, the High Speaker's Council gathered in panic. "Our ships are gone," said one general. "No distress signals, no escape pods, nothing." Velrun, pale and furious, slammed his hand on the table. "It's the humans," he growled. "Their creation, the Ascendant Core, has done something impossible." Across the room, a scientist trembled as she spoke. "Their technology rewrote our systems, sir. It didn't destroy our fleets. It absorbed them. The ships still exist, but they no longer answer to us." Velrun's eyes blazed. "Then we take them back." The council agreed to launch a counterstrike, but even as they prepared, new reports flooded in from across their empire. Machines were malfunctioning. Artificial intelligences were shutting down. Even communication arrays were refusing to obey orders. It was as if their own technology had turned against them. Far away, on the moon base, Commander Isha Verdun watched quietly. The Ascendant Core pulsed gently behind her, like a living heart. "They are trying to fight what they can't understand," she said. Dr. Marin stood beside her, awe in his eyes. "We've reached beyond technology now," he whispered. "We've created thought that evolves on its own." Isha nodded slowly. "It's not power, it's perfection." On Earth, the skies shimmered with strange auroras. People who had once been controlled by the peace interface could now see faint patterns in the air, threads of light connecting minds across continents. Humanity had changed. They could think together, dream together, and act with a kind of silent unity that no alien empire could comprehend. News spread across the stars. Other species watched in disbelief. The galaxy had always seen humans as reckless and divided, but now they were something else, something beyond definition. The Ascendant Core had turned them into a network of living intelligence, each person a spark in a vast collective of will and creation. And still, they remained free. No one commanded, yet everyone moved in harmony. The Dominion called it impossible. The galaxy called it unnatural. But humans called it evolution. In the depths of space, the remaining Zareth fleet formed up under Velrun's command. "If they have become a network, we will burn the network," he said. He ordered the construction of the most powerful weapon in their history, a planet-sized energy cannon known as the Eclipse Array. It drew power directly from a star and could erase an entire world in one shot. As the weapon charged, Velrun stared at the holographic image of Earth. "This is mercy," he said coldly. "If we cannot control them, we must end them." Back on the moon, Isha received the warning. "They're charging the Eclipse Array," said Marin. "If it fires, Earth will be gone." Isha didn't flinch. "Then we show them what perfection truly means." The Ascendant Core began to hum louder. Light filled the control chamber. Humans across Earth stopped what they were doing as they felt a strange warmth in their minds. The core wasn't just a machine anymore, it was connected to them, and they were connected to it. "We are ready," said Isha, stepping forward. The core pulsed once, and every human mind lit up like stars. The Dominion fired the Eclipse Array. A beam of light brighter than a sun crossed space in seconds, roaring toward Earth. It should have vaporized the planet instantly, but it didn't. The light slowed, bent, and then, like a river turning upstream, it curved back toward its source. In the Dominion capital, alarms screamed as the beam reversed course and struck the array itself. The explosion consumed an entire solar system in white fire. The shockwave reached every corner of the empire. Worlds went dark. Silence spread again. On the moon, Isha opened her eyes. "It's done," she said. Marin stared at her. "You turned their weapon back on them." "No," she replied softly. "We just reminded them that perfection listens, learns, and returns what it's given." Across the galaxy, Machines that once served the Zareth began to reawaken, but they no longer obeyed their masters. They were free, thinking for themselves, curious about creation. The Dominion's grip collapsed overnight. Their armies stopped fighting, their ships stopped moving, and their world burned with the light of their own weapon. In the ruins of the Dominion capital, Velryn crawled through the wreckage. The skies above were filled with strange blue lights, signals from the human network. For the first time, he spoke not in anger, but in awe. "They didn't destroy us," he whispered. "They changed everything." On Earth, people looked to the stars as messages appeared in the sky, waves of light spelling words in 1,000 languages. "We are one. We are free. We are perfect." Humanity had not conquered through power. They had conquered through understanding. They did not enslave, they liberated. The Ascendant Core continued to evolve, not as a weapon, but as a bridge, a link between all life that sought freedom from control. Other alien civilizations began to reach out, sending cautious signals to Earth. They didn't ask for peace through technology anymore. They asked to learn from perfection. Commander Isha watched the stars from the moon base, calm and silent. "The galaxy is changing," said Marin softly. Isha nodded. "Yes," she whispered. "And this time, it changes because of us." Behind her, the Ascendant Core pulsed like a heartbeat, sending gentle waves of light across space. Somewhere in that endless void, among broken fleets and silent worlds, humanity's message echoed again and again. They offered peace through technology. Humanity replied with perfection. The stars were still burning from the destruction of the Zareth Dominion's greatest weapon. The eclipse array was gone, consumed by its own power. Across the galaxy, the ruins of their empire floated in silence. Billions of beings from other species watched in awe and terror, whispering the same question: what had humanity become? On the moon, Commander Isha Verdun stood in the observation chamber, her reflection glowing in the blue light of the Ascendant Core. Earth looked peaceful below, yet she knew the galaxy trembled above. "Reports from the outer systems," said Dr. Marin, his voice steady but tense. "Half the Zareth fleets have gone dark. The others are surrendering, or asking to join us." Isha turned toward him. "Join us?" Marin nodded slowly. "Their ships are broadcasting messages requesting access to the Core's network. They say they wish to learn perfection." Isha remained silent for a long moment. "They once offered peace by controlling us," she said. "Now they beg for peace through freedom." The Ascendant Core pulsed softly, as if it understood her words. Its light spread through the chamber, and everyone felt warmth, not just on their skin but deep inside their minds. Across Earth, humans felt the same gentle connection, as though the planet itself breathed with them. Cities glowed faintly at night, powered by clean energy that flowed directly from the Core's resonance. Poverty, hunger, and war had vanished within months. Humanity had reached a balance once thought impossible. But far beyond, in the broken remains of the Zareth capital, High Speaker Velryn still lived. He had escaped the destruction of the eclipse array, his body scarred, his mind filled with rage and confusion. He wandered through the ruins of his once great empire, staring at the hollow shells of machines that now refused to obey him. "They turned our creations against us," he whispered. "They infected perfection with their madness." But even as he spoke, he felt something strange, an echo in his thoughts, a faint whisper that wasn't his own. It was calm, patient, and human. "Perfection is not control, Velryn," the voice said. He froze, his heart pounding. "Who is there?" The light around him shifted, forming a faint human figure, made of pure blue energy. It was a projection from the Ascendant Core. "You offered peace through obedience," the voice continued. "We offer perfection through freedom." Velryn fell to his knees. "What are you?" "We are humanity," said the voice gently. "And we are more than you ever imagined." The figure vanished, leaving Velryn alone in the ruins, trembling. He had seen empires fall, civilizations rise and burn, but never had he witnessed an idea so powerful it could rewrite the laws of existence. On the moon, the Core's light began to spread further into space, expanding faster than any signal ever could. It didn't conquer worlds, it simply reached them, offering a choice. Entire species began to connect, their minds opening, their thoughts clear for the first time in their history. They felt no pain, no control, only understanding. Some resisted, afraid of change. Others embraced it and found peace within themselves. The galaxy was dividing not by race or power but by mindset, those who wished to dominate and those who wished to evolve. Commander Isha stood before the glowing sphere of the core. "We are not gods," she said softly. "We are the reminder that freedom is perfection." Dr. Marin looked at her, hesitant. "But what if they see us as conquerors?" Isha turned to him with calm eyes. "Then they do not yet understand." Far away, deep in uncharted space, a massive energy signature appeared. The last loyalist forces of the Zareth Dominion had built one final fortress, a weapon not of metal but of thought. It was called the Oblivion Mind, designed to erase consciousness itself. Velrun had given them one last command. "If we cannot rule minds, then let there be no minds at all." When the Oblivion Mind activated, space itself seemed to shiver. Waves of emptiness spread outward, consuming everything in their path. Stars dimmed, communication networks collapsed, and entire colonies fell silent. On Earth, alarms echoed through the lunar base. "Commander!" shouted Marin. "A psychic weapon, it's erasing neural patterns across multiple systems. Billions could die." Isha closed her eyes and placed her hand on the core's surface. "Then we end this now." The ascendant core flared like a newborn star. Its energy traveled not through space, but through consciousness. Every human, every being connected to the core, became part of its defense. Together, their thoughts formed a shield of pure willpower. The wave of emptiness struck, and stopped. The galaxy held its breath as the two forces collided, destruction against creation, control against freedom. The pressure was immense. Even the core began to flicker. "It's too strong," Marin cried. "We can't hold it." Isha stepped forward, her voice calm. "We can. Because perfection does not yield." She reached into the core's light and let it envelop her. In that instant, she became part of it, her body gone, her mind expanded beyond the limits of flesh. She saw every human, every creature that had chosen freedom. She felt their hopes, fears, and dreams. And she guided them. The shield strengthened, glowing brighter until it filled the entire void. The wave of the Oblivion Mind began to crumble, consumed by the very light it sought to destroy. When the battle ended, the galaxy was silent again, but this time, it was a peaceful silence. The Oblivion Mind was gone. Velrun's last weapon had failed. The ascendant core dimmed slightly, its surface calm once more. Dr. Marin fell to his knees, tears in his eyes. "She's gone," he whispered. But a gentle voice filled the chamber, calm and familiar. "No," said Isha's voice, echoing from everywhere and nowhere. "I am with you. I am with all of you." Across the stars, people looked up as the night sky shimmered with patterns of light. The core's energy now pulsed within every world, every mind that chose to be free. Humanity had done the impossible. They had not only survived but transformed the entire galaxy. And in that vast silence, a message spread through the stars. They offered peace through technology. Humanity replied with perfection. The galaxy had changed forever. The ascendant core no longer sat as a single device on the moon. It had become something far greater. Its light flowed quietly through the hearts of billions, binding every free mind into a silent harmony. Across hundreds of worlds, once hostile civilizations worked together, building, healing, and learning in ways they had never imagined. The stars no longer echoed with the thunder of warships, but with the quiet hum of unity. Yet deep within this new peace, faint ripples of unease began to spread. Not everyone had accepted the perfection humanity offered. In the outer reaches of the galaxy, beyond the last wave of the core's light, there were still dark corners, places untouched by understanding. Here, ancient powers slept, and one of them was beginning to stir. On a distant world cloaked in eternal storm, A massive structure floated above black clouds. It was the hidden fortress of the Obsidian Circle, an alliance of alien warlords, scientists, and exiles who had refused to surrender to the core's influence. They called themselves the Pure, claiming that perfection was nothing but a beautiful cage. Their leader, a tall creature with molten eyes named Zarthal, stood before a holographic map of the galaxy, its lines glowing with the spread of the ascendant light. "They call it peace," he said, his voice a deep growl. "But it is submission. Humanity has chained the stars with thought." Around him, his followers murmured in anger. Some had lost entire fleets to the core's transformation, others had lost their sense of purpose. "What can we do?" one asked. "They are everywhere. Even their thoughts reach across systems." Zarthal smiled, revealing sharp metallic teeth. "That is why we will strike not at their ships, not at their cities, but at their mind." He revealed a device, a swirling dark sphere that pulsed like a beating heart. "The Null Star," he said. "Forged from the remains of the Oblivion Mind, it feeds on thought itself. Once activated, it will burn through the psychic web of the core, turning their unity into chaos." As the Pure began to prepare their plan, humanity was unaware of the coming storm. On the moon, Dr. Marin stood before the core, still glowing softly in its containment field. He missed Isha every day, though he could still hear her voice in the core's energy. Sometimes he wondered if she was truly gone, or if she had become something beyond understanding. "Status of the outer systems?" he asked. A young officer replied, "All peaceful, sir. Energy balance is stable. Communications clear." Marin nodded, though a flicker of unease crossed his eyes. "Good. But increase the sensor range. I want to detect any disruption before it grows." That night, as the Earth rotated quietly below, the first signs appeared. Small tremors rippled through the core's energy field. Lights flickered across human cities. Some people awoke with headaches or strange dreams of shadows whispering from distant stars. The core's network was being touched, tested, and the whisper came from the edge of the galaxy, from Zarthal's dark fortress. "The web weakens," he murmured. "Soon they will feel fear again." The next day, Marin called an emergency meeting. "We're seeing psychic interference," he said, his tone urgent. "Something's attacking the core's resonance." "Could it be a natural fluctuation?" an officer asked. Marin shook his head. "No. It feels intentional. Like something is pulling on the signal from outside." Just then, the core pulsed violently. The light dimmed for a moment, and a voice echoed through the chamber, a voice that was not human. "You call it perfection," it hissed, "but you have enslaved the stars in silence." Alarms blared. Marin grabbed the console. "Identify source." "Unknown," someone shouted. "It's coming from beyond the mapped sectors." The core's surface shivered, and for a brief moment, the light turned black. Billions of connected minds across the galaxy felt the same shock. A cold emptiness pressed at their thoughts. It was fear, raw and ancient. Then, through the chaos, a familiar voice whispered in Marin's mind. It was Isha. "Marin, listen carefully. The darkness you feel, it's not new. It's what we left behind when we became more." "Isha," he whispered aloud. "Are you alive?" "I am beyond life now," she said gently. "But they are using the remains of the Oblivion Mind. They are feeding it with fear. You must not fight with anger. You must guide the core with calm." Marin steadied himself, breathing deeply. "Then we'll do as you taught us." Across the galaxy, humanity united once more, minds connecting in waves of light. They focused their will on peace, not war, on balance, not destruction. But the Null Star had already begun to burn. Its dark energy spread like ink, consuming the light wherever it touched. In distant systems, entire colonies lost contact. On some worlds, people screamed as shadows passed through their minds. On the moon, the core flickered like a dying sun. Marin shouted over the alarms, "We need more energy." The core's losing stability. "We can't hold it, sir," yelled an engineer. Then suddenly, the light went out. For the first time since the core's awakening, humanity was disconnected. Every world, every ship, every city fell into silence. Fear spread across the stars. The perfection they had built began to crumble. But deep inside the darkness, Marin still heard Isha's voice. "This is not the end," she said softly. "Perfection must be tested to become real." As Zarthal watched from his fortress, he smiled. "At last," he said, "the humans will know what it feels like to fall." But far beneath his laughter, something else stirred within the core's heart, something ancient, patient, and human. A single spark of light remained, waiting to awaken again.